Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. There's my gizmo. You can see what it's doing. I already put it in my thing, and I didn't want. I'm too lazy. Anyway, it's raining outside. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. It is a rainy day. It is very dreary, and it's supposed to be a pretty heavy rain today, I think. We have 3 days in a row of rain, but this is the middle day, and it's going to be very heavy, according to my weather guy, Dennis. Aura has a doctor's appointment this afternoon, so they're going to have to go out. I'm going to run out in the morning right after I talk to you and pick up a few things. Dog food, so that we don't have to do our big shopping in the rain. Something that will hold us over for a couple of days. We've been putting off that big shopping for quite a while. Something we don't like to do, apparently. Anyway, good morning. I slept pretty okay last night. I did not have my 2 or 3 hours where I was awake in the middle of the night that I have been doing very regularly. It's annoying, and I don't get out of bed. Maybe if I got out of bed and had a sleepy time tea or something, that would help me. I'm not sure. I always feel like at least I'm resting. I don't know. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to sleep. But last night I did not do that, so that was fun to have a nice night. And yeah, yesterday was good. I did not do much on the table. It's a little bit better than it was, but hardly worth talking about. I did finish my book, The Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz, and I enjoyed it a lot. I find his detective kind of interesting. Hawthorne. I think he might be a little bit autistic. Maybe slightly on the spectrum, so, which would account for like his personal interactions not being typical for a detective. Anyway, we'll see what happens. There's more, but I have a hold on the second one. I have the third one already, but I decided I'm not going to listen to it because I should be able to get the second one in the next few days. And it only takes me 3 days to listen to one book if I keep up this plan, what I've been doing. So I knit yesterday and finished the book. I actually watched a podcast on my TV. For the first time, we watched something besides the Eagles. It just cracks me up that we got this new TV and then we don't watch it. Well, when we do watch it, we want high quality, apparently. Or we want to plug more than, 3 things into it. We only have 3 plugs in the old one. We haven't figured out nobody wants the old one. And it's a shame because it works. I just want to put, all the stuff in a baggie, tape it to the TV with a big sign that says, "This works. Take it." If I had my Terry and Pete's phone number, who are the cleaning crew who clean us, they're coming next week. If I had their phone number, I would text them and say, "Hey, we've got this TV. It works. It's big. Do you know anybody who could use it?" But after them, I don't have anybody that I can think of. We've asked everybody in the family. Nobody wants it. TVs are not very expensive these days, as it turns out, which is why we ended up getting a new one. The only reason I'm talking about it is it's sitting right here in the middle of the floor. We aren't going to put it out in the rain, I can tell you that. So anyway. So yesterday I started reading a book, and then I finished listening to the book. I very rarely have more than one book on the go that I'm actually reading. If I have, if I'm in the middle of more than one book, it's because I've lost interest in the first book, but I haven't really discarded it yet. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But I knit for at least 3 hours yesterday, because I knit while I was watching Leslie, and I knit while I was listening to the book. I was wearing my patch all day. I could smell that stuff all day. But my arm isn't sore, and I was knitting. I knit for at least 3 full hours. And yeah, I also kind of put my arm through up to the neck to try to, I do have to find my try-on cord. And I think I need at least another 3 or 4 inches of the body of the Corian, and then 2.5 inches of rib at the bottom. And I'll be done. I started my 3rd ball of yarn. I started a new ball of yarn yesterday, day before yesterday. I might be on my 4th. I'll see how many I have left, because I had 6. Anyway, so I was knitting. Didn't do any painting. But I've been thinking about art. I need to just allow myself to doodle. I need to doodle. Just to doodle. I put too much pressure on myself to try to make something. I need to doodle. Yeah. Anyway. But I am thinking about art. Art comes up in my feed on Instagram a lot, because I've been, watching those reels and bookmarking them and stuff. So I get a lot more. I get more ads or suggestions on my Instagram than I get people I follow. It's kind of annoying. Although these suggestions I watch. So it's my own fault. Anyway, I did do 3 administrative things I needed to do yesterday. I did not make my list, which is too bad, because I could cross things off. But the things that were nagging me are no longer nagging me. The last thing I have to do is make the hotel reservation for my trip with my friend Kim to our high school 70th birthday party. And I figured out which hotel I want to stay at, so now I just have to call them and make a reservation. Figure out what days we're talking about. And do that, and that will be off my list. That was kind of nagging at me. Mainly to sign up for the party. They wanted it by April 1st so they could have a good idea who was coming, so I... True to my procrastination, did it on April 1st. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. My plan for today is to run to the store, and that's it. That's all I'm doing. I might be making popovers. My recipe for popovers is a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of arrowroot, and a pinch of salt. You put, I use ghee, some oil that can take a high heat, in the bottom of 12, muffin tins for a dozen muffins, and put it in the oven at 400 degrees. Take it out, fill up the cups with your mixture, put it back in the oven at 400 degrees. It stays at 400 for 19 minutes. That's my recipe for popovers. Low carb popovers. We eat them a lot. I must make them 4 times a week. Aura loves them. We eat them for dinner and for dessert because Dennis has been making clotted cream, and so we put clotted cream on the popovers with some of his homemade blueberry sauce, and it's a delicious, delicious dessert. It's a little bit like scones with clotted cream and jam on top, except of course the popovers are much lighter than the scones. We do love scones. We don't eat them. But anyway, I'm almost out of arrowroot, and that's why I'm going today, to just make sure that we can have scones if we want to. And the popovers. And the nice thing about popovers is, you know, if I decide, oh, I want to have popovers, 25 minutes later I have popovers. That's how quick it is. And 20 minutes of that is cooking time. So, and Aura loves them. She has never once said no to a popover. Even when she's stuffed to the gills, she says, oh yeah, I'll have one. So that's our dinner bread. Anyway, so I'm almost out of arrowroot, which is why I'm going to the store. And we can use dog food. But that's my plan for today. If I get the second book, I'll be listening to that book tonight. The second book is something, the title is something about a sentence. Because the one I finished last night was The Word is Murder. And then the second one is something about a sentence, I think. Could be the third one. Anyway, I'm hoping I get it. Because I want to keep plugging along with my Korean and my knitting. My arm is not sore. So I wonder if I should just put a patch on it before I start knitting. And then, yeah, that might work. I don't know. But it feels pretty good today. But I wore that patch all day yesterday, and I smelled it all day. It didn't upset me, though. It didn't, like, make my, you know, sinuses. It didn't affect my sinuses or my eyes. I could just smell it. I got tired of smelling it, to tell you the truth. But, so I took it off when I went to bed. I didn't want to sleep in it. And, yeah. Anyway, so that made me smile that I was able to knit for at least 3 hours, maybe a little more, and not have pain. So that was good. All right, now I'm kind of rambling, I guess. But I don't have any big plan for today except to run to the store and possibly not even walk the dogs because it's supposed to be raining hard. Continue to rain hard. It's raining now, so we shall see. Meanwhile, Dennis and Aura have to go out to the doctor, but I don't. I might just snuggle in here and call it a day. Maybe I convinced Dennis to make us a fire. Or maybe our last fire of the season. We shall see. Meanwhile, what time is it? What's the temperature? 47 degrees right now. So, all right, I'm going. It's enough already. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please stay safe and stay safe.